Welcome to Immortal News. We're here to honor and celebrate timeless legacies. Today we pay tribute to 13 incredible souls who departed on September 4th and the subsequent days. Their lives and stories have touched and inspired countless hearts. Our deepest sympathies go to their families, friends, and fans worldwide. Before we delve into their cherished memories, kindly give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue crafting these heartfelt tributes. If you'd like, there's also a thanks button below to show further appreciation. Now let's begin. Number 13. Steve Harwell, the voice of All-Star and a generation's youth. Steve Harwell, former lead singer of the iconic band Smash Mouth, passed away on September 4th, 2023, at the age of 56. The cause of death was confirmed as liver failure by the band's manager, Robert Hayes. Harwell died in his home in Boise, Idaho, leaving behind a legacy in alternative rock and pop music that touched multiple generations. Born on January 9, 1967 in San Jose, California, Harwell began his career as a rapper in a group called FOS before founding Smash Mouth in 1994. The band found success with their debut album, Fush Yu Meng, featuring the hit song Walkin' on the Sun, which topped Billboard's alternative chart. However, it was their 1999 single All-Star that catapulted them to international fame. The song reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became an anthem for outsiders and underdogs. It found a lasting audience through its inclusion in various movie soundtracks, most notably the animated film Shrek. Harwell's voice became synonymous with the late 90s and early 2000s, a nostalgic touchstone for many. Despite health issues and controversies, including a 2013 diagnosis of cardiomyopathy and Wernicke's encephalopathy, Harwell remained a figure in the pop culture landscape. He briefly appeared on VH1's reality show The Surreal Life in 2006, and in 2021, he officially retired from Smash Mouth after a performance in upstate New York. Harwell is survived by his fiancée Annette Jones, a brother Mark, and 3 sisters Carla Crocker, Michelle Baroni, and Julie Harwell. His life may have been marred by health struggles and moments of public scrutiny, but the music he left behind, especially the evergreen All-Star, remains a testament to his impact. Tribute to Steve Harwell. Number 12. Robert Klein, a fearless explorer of comedy's dark corners. Robert Klein, renowned for his biting wit and fearless approach to dark comedy, passed away from kidney failure on August 29, 2023, at his Woodland Hills, California home. He was 81. Born on October 17, 1941, in Port Jefferson, Long Island, to Adele, a homemaker and community volunteer, and Edward, a physician, Klein made his mark early with cutting-edge humor that defied convention. Klein's son John announced the passing of his father, sharing that Klein was known for his daring and creative storytelling that tackled life's complexities through themes like family struggles and life's unpredictability. The sentiments echo those of filmmaker Rob Reiner, who praised Klein as a brilliant comedy mind, devoid of the internal censorship most writers possess. Klein's most popular works include Weekend at Bernie's and its sequel, as well as Where's Papa, adapted from his novel of the same name. His other notable screenplays include Every Little Crook and Nanny, Unfaithfully Yours, The Man with One Red Shoe, Walk Like a Man, Folks, and National Lampoon's European Vacation. Klein graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill in 1963 with an English degree. His first novel, The Horse is Dead, was published by Random House in 1967. Over his career, Klein also dabbled in directing. His debut, Thank God It's Friday, featured Donna Summers and won an Oscar for Best Song in 1978 for Last Dance. Klein's other directorial credits include Weekend at Bernie's 2 and the TV movie The Odd Couple Together Again. His versatile talent wasn't limited to the silver screen. He wrote for television shows like Mass*H and Tracy Takes On, which won an Emmy for Best Variety or Musical Program. Survived by his wife J.C. Scott, sons David and John, brother Larry and daughter Caitlin, along with 5 grandchildren, Klein's indomitable spirit and unique voice will continue to reverberate in the halls of comedy. He was preceded in death by his daughter Tracy in 2011. Tribute to Robert Klein. Number 11. Marilyn Lovell, the resilient heart behind a heroic astronaut. Marilyn Lovell, who epitomized both the glamour and the trials of being married to one of America's most celebrated astronauts, died on August 27, 2023, in Lake Forest, Illinois, at the age of 93. She was not just the wife of Jim Lovell, the astronaut who commanded the historic yet perilous Apollo 13 mission. She was a figure of fascination in her own right, an embodiment of American tenacity, grace, and courage. Born Marilyn Lily Gerlach on July 11, 1930, she first locked eyes with Jim Lovell in high school, and their romance took flight like one of Jim's rockets. Over the years, she endured the uncertainties of being married to an astronaut, displaying unwavering support, even while grappling with the terrifying potential of becoming a widow during the Apollo 13 crisis. She was a devoted mother of 4 and an inspiration to the American public, a woman who graced the pages of history books and earned a portrayal in Ron Howard's Oscar-nominated film Apollo 13. Marilyn was the archetype of the astronaut's wife, a heroic figure who took the challenges of her husband's career in stride, sacrificing personal peace for her family's and country's larger aspirations. Her life was rendered into cultural memory through various media, making her a symbol of American strength and resilience. She maintained a loving, supportive home, even when her husband was millions of miles away in space, and she stood as a pillar of strength for her children during the most anxious moments of Apollo 13. She and Jim Lovell defied the odds, maintaining a loving marriage in an environment where many astronaut couples eventually divorced. The Lovells were a symbol of enduring love, exemplified by their 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. Marilyn Lovell will be remembered not just as the wife of an American hero, but as an American heroine in her own right, a woman who led a life of glamorous adventure under extraordinary circumstances, facing each hurdle with unmatched grace. Tribute to Marilyn Lovell. Number 10. Fritz Windhorst, a pillar of Louisiana's legal and political landscape. Fritz Windhorst, a venerable figure in Louisiana's judicial and legislative arenas, passed away on August 27th in New Orleans at the age of 88. Known for a career that spanned from the courtroom to the state senate, Windhorst leaves an indelible impact on Louisiana's governance and infrastructure. Born on January 31, 1935, to parents of Italian and German descent, Windhorst was a New Orleans native who graduated from Loyola University New Orleans College of Law. He served as the youngest ever U.S. Commissioner for the Eastern District of Louisiana from 1962 to 1969, gaining prominence for his role in key cases and contributions to the Federal Magistrate Act of 1968. Switching gears to politics, Windhorst was elected to the Louisiana State Senate, serving from 1972 to 1992. He represented Districts 7 and 8, covering both Orleans and Jefferson parishes on the west bank of the greater New Orleans region. Known for his bipartisan approach, he acted as floor leader for Governors Edwin Edwards, Dave Treen, and Buddy Roemer, initially as a Democrat and later as a Republican. Windhorst's legacy extends to significant infrastructure improvements, most notably the Crescent City Connection Bridge. As a one-man committee, he was instrumental in securing $400 million in flexible funding for the bridge. making him a crucial figure in modernizing the city's transportation landscape. Throughout his life, Windhorst was married 3 times and had 3 accomplished children: Stephen, a judge on the Louisiana Court of Appeal; Judith, an attorney with Jones Walker LLP; and Stephanie, general counsel of Archrock Inc. His personal life also included an engagement facilitated by President Ronald Reagan, memorialized in a handwritten letter from the president himself. Fritz H. Windhorst was a multifaceted individual who embodied the essence of civic duty, leaving a lasting impression on the legal and political fabric of Louisiana. Tribute to Fritz H. Windhorst. Number 9. Brad Maxwell, a skating star who shone on and off the ice. Brad Maxwell, a legendary figure in Minnesota hockey history, passed away on September 3rd at the age of 66 after a brave battle with lung cancer that had metastasized to other parts of his body. Drafted 7th overall in 1977 by the Minnesota North Stars, Maxwell's storied career spanned a decade in the NHL, 9 years of which he proudly wore the North Stars jersey. Maxwell was a cornerstone in the team's success during the early 1980s and was instrumental in their 1981 run to the Stanley Cup Finals. Across his time in the NHL, Maxwell amassed a respectable 369 points, consisting of 98 goals and 270 assists. Not just a force on the ice, he had a significant impact off it as well, running his own business, Brad Maxwell Cabinets and Construction, after retiring from professional hockey in 1987. Known as a playmaking defenseman, he began his illustrious career by winning the Memorial Cup in 1977 with the New Westminster Bruins before being drafted into the NHL. After his time with the North Stars, Maxwell briefly played for teams including the Quebec Nordiques, Toronto Maple Leafs, Vancouver Canucks, and New York Rangers. Even after hanging up his skates, Maxwell remained an active member of the hockey community. He organized charity games with the North Stars alumni and was pivotal in assembling the North Stars and Wild alumni teams for the 2016 NHL Stadium Series. Survived by his family, who expressed their heartfelt gratitude for the community's support. During their difficult time, Brad Maxwell leaves a legacy that extends beyond his remarkable statistics. Whether on the ice, in his business, or through his charity work, he exemplified a passion for community and sport that will not be forgotten. Tribute to Brad Maxwell. Number 8. Fran Lee, a visionary designer who defined a generation's aesthetic. Fran Lee, the Tony Award-winning costume and set designer, passed away on August 27th in Atlantis, Florida, at the age of 81. Her daughter, Stacy Sandler, confirmed the death, citing a brief unspecified illness. Fran Lee gained widespread recognition for her work on Broadway, especially during her collaborative years with Eugene Lee, with whom she shared a personal and professional relationship. Together, they earned a 1974 Tony Award for their innovative scenic design in the celebrated Candide, directed by Harold Prince. Fran won another Tony Award in 1979 for her costume design in the original Broadway production of Sweeney Todd, further solidifying her reputation as a creative powerhouse in the world of theater. However, her impact extended beyond the stages of Broadway. A meeting with a young Lorne Michaels led to her significant contributions to the fledgling sketch comedy show Saturday Night Live in the late 1970s. She became an essential part of SNL's creative team, responsible for iconic looks like the Blues Brothers and the Killer Bees. Her father even crafted the Bees' bouncy antennae, exemplifying the do-it-yourself ethos that she maintained throughout her career. Born Frances Elaine Newman on December 30th, 1941, in the Bronx, New York, Fran initially began studying painting at the University of Wisconsin. It was there that she discovered her true passion for theater and costume design. After her marriage to Ralph Sandler ended in divorce in 1967, Fran moved to New York City to pursue her artistic ambitions, which eventually led to her groundbreaking work on Broadway and in television. Fran Lee not only influenced the world of set and costume design, but also had an inadvertent impact on fashion trends outside of the studio. Her designs resonated with a generation, and her legacy remains imprinted on the aesthetic fabric of American pop culture. In addition to her daughter Stacy, Fran Lee is survived by a son from her marriage to Ralph Sandler, Jeffrey Sandler, a son with Eugene Lee, Willie Lee, a brother Bill Newman, 6 grandchildren, and a great-granddaughter. Tribute to Fran Lee. Number 7. Walter Arlen, a resilient maestro, bridging lost voices and new generations. Walter Arlen, a prolific Austrian-born American composer and eminent music critic, passed away on September 2nd at the age of 103. Born Walter Aptowitzer in Vienna in 1920 to a Jewish middle-class family, Arlen's life was upended by the Holocaust. His family's department store was seized, his father was sent to Buchenwald, and his mother took her own life. These harrowing experiences led him to relocate to Chicago, where he would begin an incredible journey to resurrect his and many others' lost voices. Arlen was mainly specialized in voice and piano scores, publishing around 65 works over his lifetime. His career as a composer was kick-started after a serendipitous meeting with musicologist Otto Erich Deutsch, who encouraged his evident talent. He recorded for Decca Records and trained at the University of California, Los Angeles, under mentors like Leo Sowerby and Roy Harris. Aside from his work as a composer, Arlen was a music critic for the Los Angeles Times and an emeritus professor at Loyola Marymount University. Moreover, he founded the music department at Loyola University Chicago. A revered figure in the cultural diaspora, he was friends with eminent émigrés like Stravinsky and Milhaud. His life and experiences, particularly his relationship with his first love, Fulop Lumpi Laurent, who was killed in the Holocaust, were featured in the 2023 Netflix documentary El Dorado, Everything the Nazis Hate. In 2013, Arlen married his partner Howard Myers and was awarded honorary citizenship of Bad Sauerbrunn in 2020. With a legacy that bridges the gap between the silenced voices of the past and the appreciative audiences of the present, Walter Arlen's life stands as a testament to resilience, talent, and the everlasting power of music. Tribute to Walter Arlen. Number 6. Gilberto Hernandez, a rising star in Panamanian football. Gilberto Hernandez, the Panamanian professional footballer known for his center-back position, was tragically passed away on September 3rd in Colón province at the age of 26. He was caught in a fatal shooting, most likely related to gang rivalry in the area. He was just rising to prominence, having made 105 appearances in Liga Panameña de Fútbol for clubs like Árabe Unido, Herrera FC, and CA Independiente. Hernandez was an influential part of CA Independiente's championship wins in the 2022 Clausura and 2023 Apertura seasons. In international play, Hernandez had represented Panama in U22 and had recently made his debut for the senior national team on March 12, 2023. His final match was a 3-1 victory against Real Esteli in the 2023 CONCACAF Central American Cup. He had shown promise not only as a skilled player, but as a beacon for Panamanian football, making his untimely death even more devastating. Hernandez leaves behind a legacy of burgeoning talent and the lost potential of what could have been a brilliant career in both national and international football. Tribute to Gilberto Hernandez. Number 5. Peter Olds, a cornerstone of New Zealand poetry and the voice of a generation. Peter Olds, an indelible figure in New Zealand's literary scene, passed away on August 31st at the age of 78. Known for his influence on younger poets in the 1970s, Olds was a significant contributor to New Zealand literature, with works capturing the nuances of contemporary life and culture. He was the inaugural winner of the Janet Frame Literary Award and held the University of Otago Robert Burns Fellowship. Olds authored several seminal volumes of poetry, including Lady Moss Revived, V8 Poems, and Sheep Truck and Other Poems, his last published collection in 2022. His work was noted for its incorporation of diverse themes, influenced by the Beat Generation and American rock and roll, as well as his friendship with noted poet James K. Baxter. His name was recently added to the Dunedin Writers' Walk, acknowledging his long-standing impact on the city's literary scene. Tribute to Peter Olds. Number 4. Bill Richardson, A Life of Diplomacy and Service. Bill Richardson, a political and diplomatic heavyweight who served as governor of New Mexico and as a member of Congress, passed away at the age of 75 on September 2, 2023. His death occurred at his summer home in Chatham, Massachusetts, and was announced by the Richardson Center for Global Engagement. While the cause of death remains undisclosed, his legacy of public service endures. Born in Pasadena, California in 1947, Richardson made history as the nation's only Hispanic governor during his tenure from 2003 to 2011. He also served as President Bill Clinton's ambassador to the United Nations and Secretary of Energy. Although a bid for the Democratic presidential nomination in 2008 was unsuccessful, his political journey continued as an advocate for Americans held hostage or wrongfully detained overseas. Richardson's skills in diplomacy were nothing short of extraordinary. He negotiated the release of hostages and detained Americans in countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Cuba, and Colombia. He even helped secure the freedom of Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Paul Salopek from Sudan in 2006, and worked on the case of WNBA star Brittany Griner, who was held in Russia. His career was not without its challenges, however, including a controversial term as Energy Secretary and a withdrawn nomination for Secretary of Commerce under President Obama. Nevertheless, Richardson's knack for diplomacy and negotiation made him an enduring figure in American politics. As described by colleagues, Richardson was respectful, realistic, and canny, and his missions on behalf of American families were driven by a genuine desire to improve lives. Richardson leaves behind a legacy that transcends the corridors of power, marking him as a man who was committed to humanitarian causes and fringe diplomacy. His enduring legacy will be his commitment to opening doors of negotiation to bring home those detained overseas. Tributes to Bill Richardson. Number 3. Jimmy Buffett, a paragon of island escapism and lasting influence in music and business. The world bid farewell to Jimmy Buffett, a cultural icon who redefined the American dream, on September 4, 2023. He died at his home in Sag Harbor, New York, at the age of 76, after a 4-year battle with Merkel cell carcinoma, a rare and aggressive form of skin cancer. Buffett became a sensation in the 1970s, with hits like Margaritaville and Cheeseburger in Paradise, blending country rock with calypso elements. His songs celebrated the laid-back lifestyle, boating and beachside relaxation, turning him into a cult hero, with a following that eventually called themselves Parrot Heads. Throughout his career, Buffett sold 23 million albums in the U.S., equaling legends like Jimi Hendrix and the Beastie Boys. His annual tours were phenomenons, attracting millions who admired his barefoot, casual stage presence and sang along to his beachy anthems. However, his influence went beyond music. He was an astute businessman who capitalized on his brand of island escapism. From Margaritaville restaurants and resorts to a line of footwear and drink mixes, his empire grew exponentially. In 2018, he even ventured into Broadway with a jukebox musical, Escape to Margaritaville. Forbes estimated his net worth at $1 billion this year, attributing a considerable part to his tours and recording ventures. Buffett also maintained a long-standing friendship with Warren Buffett, the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. A large portion of his net worth included his shares in the holding company, alongside his other investments in planes and homes. The legacy of Jimmy Buffett is inextricable from the American cultural landscape in both the realms of music and business. He embodied a unique blend of artistic flair and entrepreneurial spirit, leaving an indelible impact that will continue to inspire generations to come. Tributes to Jimmy Buffett. Breaking news. News 1. In a night that has added to Lake Lanier's grim statistics, a 24-year-old man perished after slipping into the water at the Holiday Marina, marking the 8th drowning this year. The lake, which has claimed over 200 lives since 1994, is steeped in eerie folklore and tragic incidents, prompting renewed calls for more significant safety measures. Between haunting tales of the Lady of the Lake and frequent boating under the influence cases, the lake's treacherous reputation has reached a critical point. The tragedy adds to a haunting narrative that Lake Lanier, named after Georgia poet Sidney Lanier and constructed in 1956, is both cursed and haunted, beliefs fueled by its dark, murky waters and the displacement of entire communities, including 20 cemeteries, to create it. Something has to change, say concerned locals, pointing to the lake's complicated safety landscape. Will this latest tragedy finally prompt the sweeping actions many feel are long overdue? News 2. Death in Burning Man. The iconic Burning Man festival, renowned for its sun-scorched desert setting, has been hit with an unforeseen twist. Torrential rains have transformed Nevada's Black Rock Desert, typically a haven of dry dust, into a quagmire of deep, impassable mud, trapping an estimated 70,000 revelers. As if the muddy turmoil wasn't enough, the Pershing County Sheriff's Office is amidst an investigation into a tragic death amidst the deluge. The climatic turmoil came just as the festival was gearing up for its grand finale, the symbolic burning of the towering wooden effigy. While BBC Weather predicts the worst of the rain has moved on, lingering showers and thunderstorms remain a concern. The ground's current state has halted the movement of service vehicles, leading to unusable toilet facilities, though organizers have made recent headway in rectifying the situation. The quandary has left festival goers in a bind, with some abandoning gear to hike towards nearby roads, seeking rides from strangers or fans. While many are stranded, the spirit of camaraderie is alive. Melia Nurschberg, a 12-year-old attendee, shared tales of inviting tent dwellers into their campervan refuge. Despite the challenges, many attendees remain optimistic, finding solace in muddy dance-offs and the company of fellow burners. The festival, a beacon of self-reliance, is testing its participants like never before. Now it's time to remember the legends who passed away in the past years. Number 2. Tunch Ilkin, a lifelong Steeler, both on and off the field. Tunch Ilkin, a legendary figure in Pittsburgh Steelers history, passed away on September 4th morning in 2021 at the age of 63, following a battle with ALS. The Steelers announced the news, marking the end of an era for a man who dedicated 36 seasons to the team as both an offensive lineman and radio broadcaster. Diagnosed with ALS in October 2020, Ilkin retired from broadcasting in June 2021 to focus on his treatment. Ilkin was drafted by the Steelers in the 6th round of the 1980 NFL Draft out of Indiana State. He became a 2-time Pro Bowl offensive tackle and a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers all-time team, battling through cuts and injuries with resilience. His influence extended beyond the field. Steelers president Art Rooney II described him as a man of faith who dedicated his life to his Christian faith and family. After his 14-year playing career, 13 of which were spent with the Steelers, Ilkin transitioned to broadcasting, becoming a beloved radio analyst for the team for 23 years. He was posthumously named to the Steelers Hall of Honor in July 2021 and was set to be inducted in a ceremony in November. Ilkin was also deeply committed to his community. His dedication to the Light of Life, a community service organization, showcased his desire to make a positive impact. Current Steelers defensive tackle Cam Hayward memorialized him on social media, stating that Ilkin's love, faith, candor, and strength will be remembered forever. As a player, broadcaster, and humanitarian, Tunch Ilkin leaves behind a multifaceted legacy. He was a pillar of strength for the Steelers and the Pittsburgh community, a loving family man, and a devout Christian. The Steelers' season opener against the Buffalo Bills will be tinged with sadness as the team remembers one of its most cherished figures. Tribute to Tunch Ilkin. Number 1. Gary Peacock, A Life in Jazz Defined by Innovation and Selflessness. Gary Peacock, a jazz bassist whose extraordinary career spanned 7 decades, passed away at the age of 85 on September 4th at his home in upstate New York in 2020. Born in Burley, Idaho, on May 12, 1935, Peacock grew up in Yakima, Washington. He was a multi-instrumentalist in high school, playing trumpet, piano, and drums before attending the Westlake College of Music. His time in the Army served as an unintentional musical apprenticeship. Stationed in Germany, he switched from piano to bass and honed his skills. Peacock's career was a whirlwind tour through jazz history. He played with jazz legends like Albert Ayler, Paul Bley, Bill Evans, and notably with Keith Jarrett in the Standards Trio, contributing to a significant body of work that has become definitive for modern jazz piano trios. A 2-month stint with Miles Davis in 1964 and collaborations with other luminaries like Marilyn Crispell and Tony Williams further cemented his reputation as an innovator and virtuoso. His unique philosophy towards music allowed him to collaborate effectively with a diverse array of musicians. In a 2017 interview, Peacock noted, "It's not about me, it's about the music." This selflessness stemmed in part from his time in Japan in the late 60s, where he studied macrobiotic cooking and meditation and found inspiration in the Japanese language's lack of emphasis on personal pronouns. Peacock's work has set a standard for how the bass can function in jazz, moving it beyond mere timekeeping to a broader musical function. His innovations on the bass guitar have inspired countless musicians, and his recordings as a bandleader are a testament to his philosophy of facilitating for his bandmates. Tribute to Gary Peacock. To 12 notable figures we've sadly lost on August 22nd and in the days that followed. In our news segment, we'll delve into the devastating events in North Carolina, where a house explosion claimed the life of Tennessee Titans cornerback Caleb Farley's father. We'll also discuss the tragic incident in California, where Laura Ann Carlton, a staunch supporter of LGBTQ+ rights, was fatally shot while defending her store's pride flag. Stay with us for these poignant stories, and if you value our coverage, please like this video and support.